Welcome to Four Sisters and a Brother, a podcast where faith meets family. We're five siblings on a journey to grow in Christ, walk in His Word, and share the hope we found along the way. Each week, we come together with real conversations, laughter, encouragement, and a love for Jesus that we pray inspires you in your own walk with Him. Whether you're listening on your commute, during your quiet time, or at the kitchen table, we invite you to pull up a chair and join the conversation. This is Four Sisters and a Brother. I want to talk about something that I just had a question I've been pondering for the last couple of days. If you are in the States, you're listening to us in the States, you know that this has been a pretty tumultuous week for us as a nation. And it's a side note. I don't want to talk about that specifically, but this week, most of us know Charlie Kirk was killed, and he's a conservative that has started this grassroots thing where, really pushing traditional values. Well, anyways, he was taken out this week. In addition to that, which got overshadowed because of did y'all know there was like another school shooting this week?
Up on my phone.
Yeah, it was another school shooting as well. But in the blowback of all of this political stuff, I've been hearing a lot of people just make comments, about different things. And one of the things I've heard the most is we just need to learn how to love each other. We got to love each other, even if my opinion is different from yours. We can't just want to take people out. We got to, they start quoting Martin Luther King stuff saying, only love can drive out hate. No, about only love can drive out hate, that kind of stuff. And so I started thinking about that, and I just want to ask y'all, what do y'all think? So I was thinking the Bible says that God is love, and that perfect love, which God is perfect, casts out fear of differences, fear of all kind. Can somebody love without God? Is it possible?
Good question.
I say no.
No? Why?
Well, because if it was the absence of God, love couldn't survive. Grace wouldn't survive, mercy wouldn't survive. So if God being love and all, and being the actual essence of love and all like that, if He's not there, then it couldn't survive. It couldn't show itself.
I disagree a bit, because I was told, and this is how I understand what is love. That's the question. Maybe you should define what love is. Because to me, the rudimentary, basic part of love at the foundation is choice. I choose to love you. God chooses us. He chooses to love us. With that choice comes certain things like emotions, feelings, and all of that. But love is a choice when it comes all the way down to it. Can people choose to love each other? Well, there's people who are married and been married for years, and they're not necessarily believers. Do I think they don't love each other? I think they do.
I'm not denoting that. I'm just saying, but with the absence of God, the love couldn't survive.
Maybe it's but the perfect love could not survive.
You said what now?
Maybe it's perfect love could not survive. As I keep thinking about, I literally have been thinking about this for like 2 or 3 days, and I don't know why it's on my mind, but I thought maybe, how some things are given to all mankind, and then there are some things that you get by way of the Spirit. And, does God give us a measure of love? Because like you said, there are people who may not ever know Jesus or ever come to Christ, but that doesn't mean they don't love their spouse or they don't love their children. Some of them love their dog. I mean, and to love is to be loving, not necessarily a feeling that you have, but it's the actions that you have towards somebody. So maybe we're all given a measure of that. It's just that with God, there is a supernatural grace to love. So when he says, love your enemies and them that do harm to you and despitefully use you, then it goes beyond what's allotted to everybody. Does that make sense? I don't know. I just been kind of, I'm not saying that that's theologically sound. I'm not even saying that that's all the way right. But that's what I think, because I think you would have to have the love of God to see past someone who hurts you and still choose to treat them in a manner that's godly, that respects them as God's creation, that treats them like a human being. But I think that takes God. But I don't know.
I just think about people in the Bible, like Pharaoh. Did he love God? He may have killed his people, but he still probably loved his family. So maybe we were talking about like unconditional love versus conditional love, which is what we have. Maybe.
Or a form
Girl, I
of
don't know.
love.
I
Like
think
if
because
God is perfect love, then we only have a, like you said, a form of love. So somebody do us wrong, we may have loved them, but it all just went to, so it could be a
some,
form. I don't
yeah,
know.
I think a lot of what we consider love today is really just feelings or
Yeah.
lust,
Mm,
and it just changes per what the person does or doesn't do. You know, if you don't do this, then you don't love me. That's a condition. And God doesn't love us with the condition. He chooses to love us in spite of the conditions we place on him or other people for that matter. Well, if you don't do this, then you don't love me. If you didn't buy me a gift for my birthday, then you don't love me. Then that would suggest that giving you a gift for your birthday means that you love me. Does it? No.
I mean, I was
Well,
No.
go ahead, Dante.
I was making the point of love, period. Just period love, not loving somebody else, just love, period. If God is love and he's absent, I mean completely absent, not from here, from earth, I'm talking about completely absent, um then love couldn't exist. I was talking from that. I'm not talking about like loving somebody or like y'all are talking about. I'm talking about I was taking the question literal. If God is not here, love could not survive. It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. And that's the way I was answering the question by that. But go ahead.
So you're
Okay,
saying
so
like
Okay.
God is
I
I
must
love.
have
get what you're
misunderstood
saying.
the question because I thought, no, okay, go ahead.
So I guess the question was, with all this talk about, hey, we just need to love anybody, people. Can you love people with aside from absent of God being in your life? And I think the conclusion that I've come to is, like Tiffany said, there's a perfect love, and then there's the love that we are granted. And I think you got to look at the definitions, original definitions of love, like from the Greek, because we use one word for love, and like you said, I think we associate it with feelings and emotions, but actually, it goes with how we treat people. And so, I think you are able to love better with Christ. I don't think you can't love at all. I think people struggle to love without Christ. That's why you can look at somebody with a different opinion of you than you and treat them horribly, because you don't have that love that overcomes differences. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
get
don't
that.
know, but I don't want to make it too deep. But I just been thinking about that question. So I was like, I wonder what they would say. But anyways. All right. Welcome to Four Sisters and a Brother. Welcome back for another week of conversation. We're glad that you are here. And today we are going to be talking about buying, shopping, and consumerism. All the stuff that we love in the United States. Hallelujah. And in the Western world. But the reason why and I'm your host today, by the way, Leah, and I brought this subject to the table simply because I've been kind of going through a little metamorphosis when it comes to finances and money. And so at the beginning of this year, I decided that I was not going to buy a single clothing item, because all y'all know I like to buy things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad that I live alone. So my closet is full. My
Mm-hmm.
spare bedroom closet is full.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have 1, 2, 3 dressers of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1, 2, 3 shoe racks.
Mm-hmm. We know. We've seen it
And
all.
it's
I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
so much so that I don't always have space to put all these clothes. So I
Seen
have
that
now
too.
started trading. Okay. Okay. So I started trading out my winter clothes, putting them in a tote just to make room for the summer clothes. And then, here in October or so, I'm going to take the summer clothes out and put the winter clothes in, which I know a lot of people do, but I do it because I have to, because I don't have any space. And so I feel like, the Lord's been kind of dealing with me about constantly buying things. And then I really started thinking about it, especially when we did the episode on heaven and Jocelyn said God cares about how you spend your money. And I think, even with Dante's episode about tithes and offering, we feel like if I give my tithes and I give my offering, the other 90% I can do whatever I want to with. But I really know or get the feeling or sense, and I've heard it cerebrally. I don't think it actually made it to my heart until recently, that God cares about how we spend our money. And so I just want to talk a little bit through that, because transparency moment, I did very good January, February, March, April, May. And then I needed some clothes for vacation. Then I needed some clothes for vacation. Where we was going, they were like, you need to dress modest. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to wear jeans because jeans are too hot for where we're going, but I can't really wear shorts. So I was like, let me buy just a shirt or two, some capris or two. And then it's like the floodgates opened all over again. What happened?
She
All of a
backslid.
sudden I said, oh my God, I done bought 2 dresses. I done bought all these shoes. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
The spirit was like, no. No.
And so now I'm back to square one, where I feel like
No.
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 So now I'm back to square one, where I feel like I am starting all over again. So as of this week, I have decided not to buy any new clothing until September of next year if I have to.
Wait,
and my
I got a
rule
question.
was what?
So you started buying clothes for the trip and you just didn't stop?
No.
Sounds like it.
Girl, that's what happened. It just came over me. It just was like, woo.
Give the devil an inch.
He'll take all your
And I
money.
was
You take all your money.
I just said, oh my gosh, because I don't need, I think to myself, Leah, you don't need that. You don't need that. And I don't know how I just kind of talked myself into, oh, but it's different from this, or it's different from that, or blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Did you put yourself
And
on a
so,
budget?
girl,
Like, do
that's
you have
another
your
thing.
set aside piece of money for play money
It doesn't
per
matter. I
month?
have done that before and I go over it. The point is, I don't even need money for that, because I should not be buying anything new, period. I don't need it. I don't. So I want to talk about consumerism, because I'm not blaming anybody. I really am not blaming anybody. It's an issue with me. And I feel like, we talk about sins like fornication, and we talk about adultery, or what we feel are big sins. But I feel like if God is leading you to do something and you don't do it, it's just as big of a sin as those others that we try to put in big categories. And I think about the fruit of the spirit, and one of the fruit of the spirit is self-control. And I can control my mouth, I can control other things, but why am I struggling to control my wallet? Like, what is it? And so I want to talk a little bit about consumerism. So to get us started, what do you think? What is consumerism? What's the definition, or what do you think consumerism is?
Consuming.
I got a definition I did look up. It says consumerism is the natural sense is social and economic ideology that promotes acquisitions of goods and services as central to happiness, well-being, and movement for protection of a consumer's rights against inferior products, misleading advertising, and unfair practices.
We went to Webster. I mean,
Webster
what does it mean in your
dictionary.
heart?
Okay, so Dante's definition of consumerism. Who else?
I think consumerism, in a sense, is like emotional buying. It is, I have what I need, but this ideology says, do you really? And so you go back and continue to buy more and more items, even if it's the same item over and over again, because it's trying to fulfill something that's not fulfillable. At least that's how I feel that consumerism is. Like I got, it's not something that you're going to store up because you need, like toilet tissue, even though that was crazy during COVID. But I'm talking about like shoes. You got 50, but do you have enough? And I think consumerism plays into the ideology that you can never have enough things.
Ideology, a collection of relative
Oh,
related
Lord.
beliefs, values, and ideas that form a comprehensive outlook and guide a person, group, or institution.
Well, I want to
And
go
it-
back to Dante's definition too, because he
Oh.
said consumerism is tied to what Jocelyn said, basically emotional fulfillment. So I'm not buying this item because I need it. It's not like, okay, I'm going to grocery shop because I need to eat food this week. I'm buying this item because it's there. It looks great. I think it'll look good on me, or I want it and I'm going to buy it. And that makes me feel better or feel good.
And
Tiffany,
to add
sorry.
on, I think it's also like the idea of keeping up with the Joneses. They got it. Ooh, that looks cool. I don't need it, but because this person has it or I've seen it on social media or whatever, I want it. And you buy it.
I used to be the person that upgraded their phone every 2 years. You just keep buying stuff. And then
Mhm.
you just be like, I'm tired of paying bills. I'm tired of doing this. So we gonna roll this iPhone 11 out until the wheels fall off. I'm gonna roll my car until the wheels fall off because I'm tired of paying bills. I want to do what I want to do, not pay bills. Just saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
Working to
get
pay
that
the
off her
man.
chest. Just get it off.
I mean, and then for some things like that, because I decided I did get a different vehicle last December, but the vehicle I had before that, I had for 10 years because I was like, I don't want to pay a bill. And when I pay this off, I just want to enjoy not having a car payment. And so I rode my car. It was brand new off the lot for 10 years. When the engine light started coming on, and before that got too bad and started having to sink a bunch of money in it, even that my perspective on that changed, because when I got a new car, I didn't go get a 2025. I got a 2024. Actually, it's a 2023. Yeah, a 2023 vehicle. And so it was already depreciated. I have the same mentality about my phone too. It's like, I didn't pay $1,500 for this iPhone. I'm not buying another iPhone. I'm not. It's paid off. Don't quit sending me them little things talking about it's time to upgrade. But for me, it's clothing. Like, and I don't know. And what you said is maybe like true, keeping up with the like Jocelyn had these pair of boots that I thought were so cute. And I was like, oh, now, did I need a pair of boots? No, I had just gone to TJ Maxx and got a pair of boots, but I saw them on her feet with that outfit, and I went and found them online and bought them. Like, what is that? Oh,
An
Jesus,
addiction.
help me.
You have an addiction. You should
But
be on
What's
TLC.
I've been trying to like dig to the root of it, because there's a root of all of our issues. But, and I feel like God shows you little by little what you need to do to combat these things. So number one, I know I have to enact the fruit of the spirit, especially self-control. But why do you think our culture, period? Because I feel like part of the issue is in the West. Now, this ain't happening in countries that are underdeveloped or whatever, but in the West, we have a consumer personality. Like, we are just constantly taking in, it used to be a luxury to go through a fast food restaurant and get something. Now there are some people who eat there every single day. I have a colleague who stopped by in Starbucks for a month just to see how much money she would save. She saved over $250 in 1 month by
Off of
not going to
coffee?
I did that
off
with my
of
coworker.
coffee.
We calculated how much coffee he drank for the year. It was over like $3,000. I said in coffee. Coffee. Because it wasn't just
Wow.
one a day. It was like one or two. And I'm like, that $5, $6 be adding up, sir.
It does. And so we have this so when you break it down like that, and you're thinking somebody's spending $250 a month in coffee, or $3,000 a month in in coffee, or in fast food, or for shoes, or for, I feel like here where we have an abundance, where we have pretty decent jobs, there's plenty around, it's like our society helps push us into the direction of consumerism. So why do you think our culture is so drawn to excess spending and constant shopping, like constant shopping? And it has changed since we were kids. But like, what is it about society that makes us want to shop?
Okay, here's me first. I was a marketing major. And when you go to school for sales and things like that, or I had a sales class, they teach you ways of manipulating people into buying more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, with AI and advanced marketing tactics, people have dug all the way down into your psyche and manipulating people into buying more and more stuff. Now, should you have self-control? Yes. Should you be able to see that this is all fabricated things that try to get you to buy things? Yes. But is it a constant barragement of advertisement? Yes. Why do you think all you got to do is talk about it and you start seeing advertisements on your phone for it?
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is Google this once, and do you see this constant commercial and ads on your phone over and over and over and over again? I mean, they know exactly how to tap into your interests. They figure out what you like and what you don't like, how often you want it. And so next thing you know, you're buying like 5 things of coffee that you don't need. It's this whole manipulation that
Just did
continues.
that.
Oh, go again.
You need to go to counseling.
That's
Some help.
So I went to
no.
try protein coffee, and I don't know. I just looked up protein coffee, and
And there you go.
and the ad started coming up. I was like, okay, well, let me try this one. It's on sale. So I bought
I
it.
mean, they're good at it and they got it all the way down to the T. And so now they don't have to knock on your door anymore. Remember, you could just shut the door on them. They try to
The
sell you
sales.
some encyclopedias or a vacuum. Tell them, Candace. They try to sell you stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. All you got to do is just have a smartphone. Next thing you know, all those things are
Everybody
in
got
your
jokes.
hand. Well, I'm just saying they did kidnap you.
They did.
But
They did.
but
Scary.
that's for another story for another day. But the point is, they're good at it. And so I think part of it is that our capitalism society is driving this. We just want more and more and more money. We got $20 million or $20 billion we made this year. Our goal next year is $50 billion. You don't need another $30 billion, but I'm gonna get it. And so it's a constant barragement of advertisements, especially when they get you when you're young too. And so you'll never
Mm-hmm.
get out of it by the time you're 50. You done spent millions of dollars on this product.
I have a question.
Well, okay.
Do you think it's the same for me in like I spend my money on trips? Is it the same thing?
I don't feel like it's the same thing unless you never going to work. But you
Well,
wait, you
Well,
save up, you do well.
um,
Oh,
Sometimes you don't be
what?
at work.
I be at work every day. What y'all talking about?
mhm.
Okay. All right. So I don't feel like it's the same quite. I think and it can be like for some people, it might be trips. I don't think that's necessarily your issue. I think the other issue with with consumerism is it is so easy now. It is so easy. I can shop from anywhere at any time, no matter what. It used to be get up. Remember, we used to go with Nana on Saturday? Get up, go to the mall, find the outfit, try it on, shop from store to store, find the shoes, find the this, find the that. And you don't have to go anywhere. You can sit in the comfort of your own house and scroll through millions of dresses, millions of pants, millions of shoes, millions of dressers or furniture or whatever it is, and just, buy. And so I ask all of you guys to watch this documentary with me called Buy Now, and it's on Netflix. So if y'all haven't watched that, watch it. I like documentaries. So this is another thing that kind of spurred on this conversation. I started watching it and I thought, oh God, just like Jocelyn said, the marketing people have gotten me because they have dug down into our psyche. And so the first lady that was on there about Amazon, she was a person that invented the one-click buy. It's like, they make it so easy. You used to have to go through, put your credit card in, enter your address, make sure you had this, and this. Now all that stuff is stored, and you normally you click one button and the transaction is over. The money is gone and your item is on its way. So looking at this documentary about consumerism, what are your thoughts? Because I feel like, and like I said, I'm not blaming other people because I'm responsible for my own actions, but society doesn't help us. It doesn't help us. And so, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I watched the majority of it, and they have, like, over the years, it's become more convenient to shop and do all sorts of things. When they were talking about the iPhone, and I know iPhone users, y'all about to hate when I say this,
Don't want to say it.
but Android came out with a lot of this technology first. It's just Apple has the followers who's like, ooh, when they come out with something new, I gotta get it. Like the facial recognition, Samsung had that first. But anyways, but it's just they catch you and they don't let you go. And just like we were talking about earlier about you never had to lease a phone. Who leases a phone? You bought it. That's what you did. It's a phone. And now they have you leasing a phone and you stay in a lease and you keep buying and you keep buying because they have found a way to make you feel like you need it. And it's a cycle. And when Jocelyn was talking about capitalism, I was thinking about during the pandemic, the one industry that kept making money was the oil industry. They jacked up the prices. People, I mean, even though they weren't out driving, the people that were still needed to get gas, and they did not lose a step. What is 1 billion compared to 2 billion? Like you're still making money, but you feel like you need more. And I think that's we as humans, you have everything you need, but you still need more. And when you make it convenient, fast food, DoorDash, Uber
Oh my
Eats,
gosh.
like
Yes.
all of that, when you make it convenient, people are going to do it because we are a lazy society. We have gotten lazier. And when it's convenient for you and you don't have to do that much, you're going to click a button, you're going to buy food, you're going to buy clothes, you're going to buy groceries, all the things.
I think convenience is you hit that on the head. I also think that we do need things like how it would be so hard to function without a phone. But I feel like these companies, just like in the documentary, literally make things to break. Like, so how do you, like, you need a phone, but it's only gonna last so long, then it's gonna start slowing down, and then you can't get the internet, then you can't have call people, then you can't have text people, then you forcing people's hand to get another one, and then you have to lease or pay $1,000 out of pocket, which your average, I don't know, American maybe can't do that. Just pay. Actually, it's probably more than $1,000
Oh,
depending
it's
on what
more.
phone you get.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like
But
1,500.
see, you
But then you
said
can
it.
get,
Do you
huh?
need a phone though? Because we used to have landline and you have
Ain't nobody
internet.
got no landline
I don't
no
even
more.
have
I
my
said
Nobody has a
landline
landline.
we
connected.
used to have a landline. You didn't need a cell phone.
But like you
Well,
thinking about
now
like
you need one.
emergencies, like you're in a car somewhere, you get in an accident. You can't run to somebody's house and be like, let me use your landline. Like you could, but if you're on the highway,
Well, you may not
like
need a
if you're not
phone, but
near.
everyone else is connected that way. So it's like, how can I contact them if I need them? So you know what I mean? And I think Candace hit it on it because I was going to talk. I just wrote that down so I wouldn't forget it. The waste. Okay, so you have an
She
iPhone.
wasn't finished with her thought.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I pretty much was. I was just
Oh,
saying they make things to break because so to force your hand to
to
buy more
buy more.
things.
And so I mean, like
Like
this
look
this
at
philosophy was not
cars.
new. Like when I heard them say this on this documentary, I heard it years ago because they did it with the light bulbs. I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about light bulbs were made to last forever. But then the bulb industry was like, we're not making any money if people don't buy more light bulbs. So they put a little timer in that thing, so that thing will explode, and you can't use it for long amounts of time. So you have to go and buy another light bulb. All the light bulb people, all of them decided this same thing. So to get consumers to buy more things, and this philosophy has been grabbed by every corporation in the world, and so they
Mm-hmm.
make it so that you can't fix it. So your iPhone starts breaking it and the whole back is fused together so you cannot open it to actually get to the battery or get to the things that's broken. And so they had to pass that legislation in New York called Fix It to give the people a right to try to fix their own phone because iPhone and every other company had sealed that sucker shut so that you would have to buy another one once that thing went kablooey, which they had a timer on it for 3 years max.
Kablooey. When it
Kablooey.
goes kablooey.
Kablooey. The next thing you know, you at the iPhone store or at the Samsung store trying to buy a new one. They know what they were doing.
You mean
And
you
so
look
they
at
create the waste and they create the market. They create it so it can continue on, so they can continue to make billions of dollars. It's driven by capitalism.
like
Well,
the car industry. It's the same thing. You can see somebody with a 1960 something steel Buick still rolling, but you can't even keep your car for 10 years because the engine light starts coming on and they just make it to
as soon as
break.
you pay it off.
You can barely change the light bulbs in the car anymore. They don't put it
Or they have to
behind
uh-huh.
casing and
And that documentary made me think about, do y'all remember the Maytag man? The commercials for him? Like when we were growing up, the Maytag man had commercials because Maytag was touted to be something that lasts forever. And so they will always show the commercial, the Maytag man doing everything but fixing washers and dryers and refrigerators because they were built to last so long. He didn't have nothing to do. Girl, the Maytag man is gone. The Maytag man
Look,
does not exist anymore because they're going to make that thing last 2 seconds. And then, okay, so Jocelyn brings up the next thing that I also feel convicted about. And I know this is not everybody's belief, but the waste that these products are creating in our world.
Mm.
I feel like God gave us dominion. When he first created Adam, he told him, this is your place, this is your spot. You have dominion. He said, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, do your thing. And I know that Adam and Eve failed, but I still think the responsibility of taking care of the earth was given to men. And with this level of consumerism that we have happening, we like some of the pictures where they were showing just garbage
trash.
rolling up, and they send it to these underdeveloped countries that
Mm-hmm.
people aren't going to say too much or don't have any space to say anything. And they got shirts. And I literally started thinking, how many of my flip flops are in that water? How many shirts have I sent overseas? Because I done bought. So then I give it away, so to speak, or whatever. And it ends up in one of these places. And so now I feel a conviction that the thing that God trusted me with, which is the earth, even my space in the earth, I am now destroying. To me, it's the same thing as destroying your body. God gave you that, And we get up in arms if we feel like somebody wants to take their life, or they're cutting, or you're using drugs and you're abusing the physical body that God gave you. How come we don't have the same vigor and the same passion when we are destroying the earth, basically? And the one lady that went through the aisle, and she was like, all I see is plasticware that's going to end up in the ocean. So I started, trying to do my part and use recyclable bags and not plastic bags. Trying to recycle, even though according to their documentary, trying to recycle ain't even helping either, because half of it is not recyclable.
Not recyclable.
That kind of stuff. But then also just cutting down on the waste. So this consumerism issue that I have, I kind of got on the Shein Temu boat when it first came out.
Oh no.
Y'all,
You need
You have
deliverance.
I know. You need to go to the altar.
We're gonna talk and throw some oil on you.
Take me to the altar.
but no, so that's the boat and it's like cheaply made fast fashion, cheaply made clothes. First I thought it was a good thing, because it was like, oh, I can get really cute clothes for really cheap, blah blah blah. Then you find out the human toll it takes, the chemicals that is tearing up the earth with, and the fact that it doesn't last long. Like, I've had those shirts that is like, oh, that's really cute, and you wash it 2 times and you're done with it, because you can't wear it no more than shrink or shred it, one or the other. So then you give those away, or you throw those away, and they end up in a landfill somewhere. So as believers, first of all, do you think we should have a conscience about the earth and how we treat it?
You was hot this summer, wasn't you? Global warming's real. just phasing that little ozone layer right on out. We just gonna burn.
I think
Why
we should
you
be,
think we ain't had no winter?
We really haven't.
I think we should be conscious, because y'all remember when we took the tour of the Hoover Dam. Was it the Hoover Dam, and how low Lake Mead
Yeah.
is now?
Mm-hmm.
Because they use the water to whatever with the lights in Vegas, and it's just like they don't care. People gonna still go to Vegas. They not gonna shut the lights off. So we should be conscious, but I don't think there's enough people collectively that is conscious about this. And people have feelings about it. They don't feel like we're doing anything.
Yeah, we
And
would have.
that's just natural that it got super hot this summer and the ocean is a couple of degrees hotter than it's ever been. Like, they just think that's a natural thing. And one thing people don't realize is when you use AI, that information comes from, they put little, not little, stations in the US in poor neighborhoods, and it gives off pollution and all that stuff whenever you use like AI. But now AI is embedded in when you Google online. It's the co-pilot, or if you use Chat GPT and all that stuff. And all of that is still destroying the earth. But you know what? It's convenient for us. So people aren't going to see it as an issue, because then they would lose their convenience.
Oh, here's me. Is there money in my consciousness? Can I get paid for being conscious about this? If I'm not getting paid to be conscious about this, it goes out of my mind. The only thing that runs us as a world is how much ducats this makes. So
Ducats.
I'm just being real.
I
Money.
mean,
How much money does this make? And so, I mean, does recycling get me paid? If I'm a company and I'm looking at my bottom line, does me being socially conscious over these electronics being thrown into the ocean, or does this get me money? Does it get me money to clean this up? And if the answer is no, then I don't care. Because that's when they say money, the love of money is the root of all evil, that
Knew
it is
somebody was
true.
gonna say that.
It's true. The love of it is the root of all evil. So I don't really, I mean, if you, they, in that documentary, they followed the electronics. They said there was going to be the electronics that were going to be recycled. And they followed it, put a tracker in it, and that thing just wound up in a third world country with some worker
It's Thailand.
taking a hammer to destroy it and releasing all of its chemicals that actually was used to make it. And all they have is some makeshift cloth that they put around their heads and bare feet. That what? Their rates of cancer are higher. Their rates of all these health issues are higher because they're handling hazardous material. Do you care? Mm-mm. How much money am I making to care about their health? And so at the end of the day, all these companies are like, I don't care about this because at the end, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to care. And until they get paid to care, they're not.
I
So,
would I would ask this question for the people out. What would you say for the people out there that says, well, this was going to happen anyway? Like people, even Christians or even non-Christians, like this was going to happen to the world anyway. So we're not really destroying it. It's just
You're helping
already.
speed it up.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Even if it wasn't gonna happen, you're speeding up the process.
Because I have
And,
heard
and
that.
yeah,
well, the Earth's going to end anyway. So why don't we just
help it on over the cliff.
trash it? I mean, I guess. Oh,
I don't know. I
Okay,
just
so
think about us that we went to Alaska and those glaciers. That I mean, look at the fresh water in the world that's just melting away right now because it's so hot. They looked at what's the major glacier there, Mendez,
Mendenhall.
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 Yeah, like they showed that in like the 60s versus now and how it's lost like a lot of fresh water and is still melting to this day. Like we thought we were going to be dressed up in hoodies and stuff there. We had to buy t-shirts at every port because it was so hot there. I was like, no wonder these glaciers are melting.
it was a perfect setup for Leah. She had to buy a t-shirt at every port. It was like, oh, ooh, it's hot. Guess I have to buy a t-shirt.
She really did like, hey, you going to get me
You
one
gonna get
too.
a t-shirt?
Uh-huh.
Got like 3 or 4 Alaskan t-shirts.
I sure do.
Do you
I
wear them
sure
now?
Some of them, yeah. Yeah.
See, the
No.
fireman just set her up. It set her up. It
Oh
was a
my
setup.
goodness. All right, so so it is clear from our discussion today that maybe I'm the only one that has a consumerism issue. Do any of you guys would like to
Don't try to put us in
go
your
into the
boat.
confession in the confession
mean,
booth and maybe
Okay,
say
I'll let Dante
go.
I guess if I had to say I have a problem with spending anything, it's probably on food. Like buying stuff for food, snacking or something like that, I
Are
tend to
you a
do that.
grazer?
No, I
Oh,
eat.
okay.
But but I do find deals on them though. It's not like it's got to have a deal on something and all before I get it and all. So, but I feel like at work, the place I work at is pretty much a grocery store, so it's
Mm.
yeah. So I give a lot of money back to them after they done paid me and all, I guess, because I'll be getting deals there and all. But I would think if I look at that's probably the majority I spend money on. The next is like probably second is Amazon because sometimes I just be on Amazon and be like, "Oh, that looks nice."
See? You were
But
part of
I
that
got you.
documentary.
You know
but
what, Dante? I have to confess, I have an Amazon account and I use that thing all the time. At least I used to.
oh, I got
After
Prime.
watching this, I have Prime too, and so I was like, after watching this, I was like, I don't need this. And part of the reason why I bought it off of Amazon is because literally, it's getting harder to find this product in stores.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm trying to find this and I can't find it here. But you know who has it?
Amazon.
Amazon.
But
And so I
Amazon,
was,
it's a little bit cheaper though too. I feel like it's cheaper on some stuff and all because I've looked in stores for some things and all. And if you go into an actual store, specialty store and all like that, they want to jack up the price and all like that. But if I jump on Amazon, I can find it a little bit cheaper. Me and
go ahead and
Eli
put that company out of business.
me and Elijah was looking for helmets, and I got mine from Amazon. He got his from an actual shop. Now he spent like a little bit over 120 for his. I spent like $70 for mine and all like that. I'm winning. I'm winning. So I was just like, man, it's better deals.
well, I think it almost needs to come with a disclaimer like alcohol, use responsibly.
I could say that I used to buy shoes. I used to. I don't do it as much anymore, and it doesn't pain me as much, but now I feel like I have a pretty good grip that I only buy stuff that I need. Well, at least in my head, I think I need it. Um, because you have to watch your spending and stuff like that, and you can get into that cycle. I don't use Amazon for a whole lot of stuff. Um, I don't know. I think I've definitely curved and scaled back on shoes. I don't get as many, and it's basically tennis shoes. It's not any other ones, but they just too expensive.
I've scaled back on clothes because I'm just tired of spending money.
You've made
You
that clear.
know,
Okay,
I don't
Candace
buy
and her
Made that
heels.
very clear.
Amazon. Like, I may buy something from Amazon maybe like 3, 4 times a year. It's not. I almost rather, if I do need clothes, rather go into the store because, for one, I need to try it on, and to me it takes longer. I can buy it there, try it on in the store, and be at my house by that night, or get it off of Amazon, try it on, it don't work, take it back to a store, ship it away, have them bring it. Like, to me, that's more time consuming than just going to the store.
That's just on
Well,
clothes,
you
though.
that's just some
Yeah.
clothes. And you have options when you live in places where you don't have options. Like my city is much smaller and we just don't have options. So we either are driving to Indianapolis or, you know, whatever. So okay, so maybe this is a therapeutic session for me. So what I've been trying to dig through is what is the root of the reason why I do this. There's got to be a reason that triggers this. And this is the reason, the conclusion that I came up with concerning my own self. And don't laugh. But do you know, have you ever had a desire for something, but that desire doesn't get filled, so you replace it with something else?
Mhm.
And I think that is what has happened to me. There are things that I desire in my life that I don't have. And so it's like you do whatever it takes to make you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have those. And so what I'm working on now is learning how to lean more into Christ to fill that void instead of trying to fill it myself. Does that make sense?
Leah, I thought you was going to say at first, as far as clothes go, 'cause thinking about our childhood and all, which I was more traumatized than y'all was, but like
What?
yeah,
What?
school
How?
clothes. I'm gonna explain. School clothes. Mommy, she would give us X amount of dollars, and you can only get certain amount of clothes, and that was it. No, and you really didn't have too much of a choice of, well, y'all didn't really have too much of a choice of what you could get because it was limited on some things that you could get based off of how we came up and all. So I thought you was gonna go that route with it and all like that. So then when you got old enough and then you be able to get your own money and all like that, then it was like, okay, now I can get what I want to get and I can get it whenever I want to get it because I'm using my own money now. So I thought that was the route that she was gonna take as far as clothes go and all like that because I know I got the less amount of money in there. So when y'all got a whole lot of bunch of different outfits with the money that was given, I could get one outfit. So when I got my money, I definitely got some clothes then and all like that because I couldn't get that much at that time.
So
I think, okay, in mommy and daddy's defense, I think they gave us the same amount. It's just that women's clothing you can find for much cheaper than men's. I don't
I
know
know.
why that is. Because remember we had the $7 store
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
Dots,
do. I
all that
do.
stuff. So
I
you can
you
remember
take
sell
that.
you
fifty
some
dollars
cheap
and
trash.
get a whole bunch. I mean, I know it's trash clothes, but you could buy a whole lot more. Whereas guys' clothes, they just didn't have that option.
Yeah.
To Dante's point, when we talked about this last season, we had the greed episode, but we were talking about American greed. And I said most of the people who act that way was because they were deprived of something as a child. And they said, you know what? When I get some money,
Never going this way again.
Right. I'm never going to be broke again. And so I will buy and I will do whatever it takes to continue to feel the feeling of being on top. And I think sometimes all of this is really just dealing with our emotions in some way, shape, or form. Like whether it is I feel like I'm trying to fill a void, or whether I'm feeling like I don't want to be left out, or if I feel like, I'm just trying to make up for lost time. I'm trying to get back at someone for hurting me. I think all of it kind of comes down to our emotions. And that's kind of why we do it. Like it's a different emotion. It could be a different trigger, but it's all emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So as a believer, because we're running out of time. So as a believer, I know I'm not the only one that has this issue because I deal in young adult ministry. And so, and y'all think I'm bad, the generation after me, woo, Jesus, you know. But what are some things that we can do as Christians how can we honor God with our money without that, without overspending? Is it even possible to honor God without spending all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think you can honor God in other areas of your life other than money. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, like, okay, let me give you an example. Like, to me, part of maybe my part of healing is, okay, I'm not going to buy clothing for me, but I can certainly buy it for someone else who actually needs it. So I've done that for like students at school. Or instead of taking this amount of money to buy this, I'm going to give that as an extra offering to the church or something like that. So that I'm honoring God with what I have versus being very egocentric and spending it all on me. So, what are some other ways believers can be honor God with the 90% other than paying our bills? Part of it is pay your bill on time,
Mm-hmm.
Not going into a lot of debt, with credit cards and things like that. But what else can I do to honor God to break this habit of consumerism?
I don't know if this will break the habit of consumerism per se, but I know like I like to eat. Everybody knows that. Um, Sometimes like if I see maybe a grocery store or something like that, I might pay for somebody's groceries. Or if I'm in line at a restaurant or something like that, I might just be like, "Hey, I'll pay for the car behind me." I don't know what they got, but I'll know when they give me the bill and all like that. I'll pay for the car behind me and all like that. Just do something, acts of niceness, whatever like that. Because
Acts
guys,
of
but
kindness.
yeah, thank you. But guys blessed me with so much and all. Like I ain't rich. Don't get me wrong, I ain't rich, not yet. But he's blessed me with what he's got me with and all like that. So um that's what I'll do. I mean, I do that now, but I mean I would like to do more, but when he blesses me with more, then I'll do more. So that's where I'm at.
I think
Okay.
one of the things that we can do for ourselves is be a good steward to start with. Like, if you don't know how to budget, maybe you can research what is a budget, how will it work for me, and start there. But I think everyone has hit on a lot of other things you can always do with your money to help others. Charity work, if you want to donate to like charities and things like that. But I think the basis is we have to steward it, and it has to start with us, or we won't have excess or extra money to actually do those things, because we're always going to be trying to get ourselves out of it. But steward what he gives us is how you can honor him first and then go from there.
I'm also asking God for a different mindset. Like, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If I'm going to transform this behavior, there's something that has to shift in my mind. And I think when I was on a roll earlier this year, not buying, that was starting to happen until I opened the door prematurely before that metamorphosis had completed itself. But I had gotten to the point where if I go to the grocery store, I'm only going to the grocery store section. I'm not walking through the clothes. I'm not walking through, other places. My goal is to get groceries or I go to a store that only has groceries. in it. So doing small things to push back against that feeling that you have to see something and to buy it. So I've been doing little things like that, noticing triggers that make you want to spend. If it's a nice spring day and you're alone and you're just alone, sitting on your couch, it's easy
Jesus.
to start
Dang.
spending.
Oh,
Well, I'm
for
just saying,
Jesus.
I mean, you can come to
it's
my
a
house.
shut up, Joe.
I mean,
I'm not talking about that, but so you don't have any. I'm not saying alone, like, oh God, I'm so lonely, but I'm just saying you don't have much else to do or
no one
whatever.
there's to check
It
you.
can, yeah. And so you spend. So making sure I plan things or do things. I started working out, whatever. So you gotta do whatever you gotta do to shift things or shift your mind. I have one more question I thought would be funny
Oh, I
because
have
one
one to
of them was
your other question.
go.
You know that scripture that says, occupy yourself until I come. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we should be spending our time occupying our time with something else other than indulgence. And sometimes I do things for people without the expectation of getting anything back or from them. Um, like for example, like I may like every now and again I'll go out to lunch with a couple of my friends. I might pay for their meal just cuz they didn't expect it, but I did it, so
You
I
don't
feel
ever do
like,
that when you out with us.
well,
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
y'all might be a little different. I know how much
Dang.
all y'all make, so
No, you don't.
well, I might if it's not too much, depending on where we are. I
Okay,
just
when
might
we
do
get to
that.
Nashville, I'm gonna be depending on you.
It depends. Like, where we gonna go? Which restaurant to go? I might. You never know with me, but yeah, I think giving selflessly is a way to combat being one who is selfish.
All right, one last question, and I thought
I
this one was kind of funny. If Jesus were to walk through a mall today, what do you think he would say?
Oh
And I
Lord.
started
Oh my me.
Oh, mommy.
Oh my me.
Oh mommy.
I thought that was funny because a lot of malls like literally don't exist. Consumerism has gotten to the point where it's so easy, like we said, to access. It has put a lot of brick and mortars out of business. People just buy online. So if Jesus was to walk in the mall, he'd just be like, well, ain't nothing here. I mean, but anyways, okay. Any last closing thoughts from anybody else?
Go
live
ahead, Candace.
open-handedly. Didn't we talk about that one of those last episodes? Live open-handedly.
Okay, all right. All right, so share your stories of consumerism with us. We hope this made you smile and laugh, but also gave you some pointers and some things to do to help shift us from a consumer mindset into one where we honor God and we steward what we have well. Y'all pray for me as I go on this journey of free spending freeze, and I believe God's gonna help me and I'm gonna do better. Y'all check with me. I won't say in a year. Y'all probably need to come check on me in a month or so. Just be like,
Just
are
ask
you
next.
okay?
I ask next week.
You it might be
Are you
weekly.
okay? Are you okay? Yeah, maybe I made it sound worse than what it is. I don't. Okay.
Maybe you need accountability. Maybe that's all that people really need. They need someone to be accountable to for their to break out of that cycle.
How about you start in January again? Because the
No,
holidays is
no,
the
it needs to
holiday
start right
no.
now.
the
Which means
holidays
I ain't
That
come
buying
out.
y'all.
Black
Nope.
Friday?
Which
No.
means I ain't buying none of y'all no gifts. So just don't even expect it. No, I'm just
Welcome.
kidding.
Oh, I thought you were
Tiffany was like,
serious.
you coming to my camp now.
I like to give to other people as well. I just don't need to give to other people and to me. So, anyways, I'll be all right. I feel like the Lord is already helping me. If y'all haven't watched that documentary by now, do it. If you don't love the earth, start loving the earth so that you can help us preserve it, at least until Jesus come or whatever happens to it. And don't be selfish. Build a bunch of barns for yourself, because you know what? In the end, none of this stuff can you take with you. And don't forget, when you stand before God, you have to give an account for how you spent your money. And I don't want God to say, I want him to say, well done. All right. Have a great week. We will see you next week. This was Four Sisters and a Brother.
Yep. Very much in the